Welcome to the real Ramblers movie talk for fanatics. The real Ramblers movie talk for fanatics. And now your hosts, Bill and Lee Howard.
Hello, and welcome to the Real Ramblers. I'm Bill. This is my brother, bruh, Lee.
Hi, I prefer bruh.
Bruh.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for tuning in again, folks. What do you think we're up to now? Like six, maybe? 6 people?
Oh, I'm
listening?
like episodes. We've done several,
I don't
but
know.
listeners by now.
It's probably at least, we're closing in on 10, I think.
Does that count you and me listening to our episodes?
It does. Well, today we are going to discuss a franchise that we are both huge fans of, that we've grown up with, and that has recently had a new installment this summer. That was, I don't know if controversial is the word, but it was surprising results. Anyway, the franchise
divisive, I guess, is
divisive,
the word.
maybe. Yeah. The franchise is the Indiana Jones franchise. I wish we could, cue the music. Lee, do the music. That's good. Perfect.
And we're sued.
That's exactly. I thought I was actually listening to the John Williams score. It was perfect.
Yeah.
So yeah, Indiana Jones.
Hooray.
Number 1 was 1982.
I was gonna say 2.
I think 2. And it was big when I was a kid. Not only a big hit, but I mean a big influence on me.
Oh, totally. Yeah.
The character of Indiana Jones, it was like Spielberg kind of revolutionized adventure films the way he did with thrillers with Jaws and the way George Lucas did with sci-fi. And it was like nothing I'd ever seen, because even as a kid, so I guess I was 13, as a kid, an adventure film is usually no story, no character, lots of good action and stunts. Mm. And then Raiders kind of changed that, and it became great stunts, great production quality, but great writing, great characters, great acting, and
scary. It was also when not that it's necessarily a kid's movie, but obviously kids like it and stuff, especially back then. But it's there was scary shit in it.
Yeah, there was.
The face melting stuff was almost traumatizing.
The end was
kid.
Really scary.
Yeah, I was. And you were scared of it as a kid. So yeah, I was scared to watch.
I don't know what age you would have been when you finally saw it, because it was probably on home video.
Yeah.
But yeah, the first Raiders had a huge effect. The character of Indy is so iconic and so. I don't know. I recently saw an interview with Harrison Ford where he was talking about when he first got the outfit, and he was saying to Spielberg. So why am I wearing a leather jacket in the jungle?
Seriously, I think about that all the time too.
And they were like, you just do.
Yeah,
and he's like,
it looks cool.
And why do I have a whip? And they're like, you whip things and people. And he's like, oh, okay. And the hat, and they're like, just go with it.
Yeah.
And he did. And yeah, sure. I mean, that stuff doesn't make sense practically, but holy cow.
Yeah.
What an image. And the reveal of him in that first scene where he's only from the back.
Oh, yeah.
It's been a while. Most of the scene.
Yeah.
And then there's one swelling John Williams moment where he turns his head and looks at the audience. And, that movie was a huge game changer. One of the most iconic endings ever with the warehouse.
Oh my God, yeah.
Putting the Ark into the warehouse.
Everything was good. Marion is such a good character in it too, because
I was in love with Marion.
Yeah, because she wasn't a damsel in distress.
Not
you know
at
what
all.
I mean? She was a super.
Even when she was captured and they're making her wear a dress, she was reluctant to it all, and she played along with the villains only for the purpose of I'm eventually gonna get out of here and
she's
beat your
out
ass.
Drinking all the guys and stuff.
Yeah.
She was really a good.
She was a badass.
Tough, yeah, absolutely. Especially in an era where it's I don't think you really saw a whole lot of that.
Early 80s.
We'll get to it with
Definitely
Temple
not.
of Doom, but Willie Scott, she was
we differ a little on.
I mean, she's funny. I rewatched it yesterday.
Did you?
That was the one that I haven't seen for the longest, I think.
Right.
So I wanted to get that fresh in my brain, and it's still, I mean, wait, did we just move on to Temple of Doom?
We can move on to Temple of Doom. That was a beautiful, smooth segue.
Right. I still love Temple of Doom because it's super fun. Yeah. Just Willie Scott was the only thing. And I don't hate her. She just like, she didn't do anything in the movie. Like you could have took her character out. I mean, she's basically C-3PO.
Yeah.
You know, just like saying funny shit and whatever. But she doesn't like,
the pseudo love interest. And
yeah. But yeah, you look at like Marion, who is like fighting people and like drinking, and she's like super tough. And Willie Scott is just like,
no, it's the contrast between them is huge.
But she's funny and it was fine and stuff. And
she's funny. And Temple of Doom for me is kind of the Matrix Reloaded of that series, where it's like, it's just pretty much nonstop action.
Oh, I see.
No,
yeah.
It's nonstop action. Because there's a lot of action in Temple of Doom.
Totally. Yeah.
And then when they get into like the huge set pieces in the underground mine and the cult and the heart removing and all of that stuff. And then, of course, if we're talking Temple of Doom, we have to talk one of the biggest little highlights of the movie, which is Short Round.
Yeah, he was so great. Even
amazing.
Watching it again.
And was
yesterday.
it not his first movie, I think?
I think so.
Yeah.
Because he was, that was for sure before Goonies.
Yeah.
Like he's so good. And I'm so glad that he's like back now.
Me too.
And getting the attention he deserves. Because my God, that dude is so good.
I know. I keep going over it in my head that I really wish Everything Everywhere All at Once was released a year before it was, because then he would have already been big when they were making the new Indiana Jones.
Oh my God.
And then they could have that would have put it over the top.
Yeah.
If it was him. And I am still holding true to I put it out into the universe that I want somebody out there to hire him to do a spin-off movie with him as an adult Short Round who's become an adventurer from his inspiration and his relationship.
And they can totally
Indy.
have like a cameo of Indy.
Yeah.
You know, being like, all right, it's up to you now, kid.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it'd be great. But I mean, the guy is obviously capable.
Yep.
He's not too old.
Mm-hmm.
He's an amazing martial artist. It would be a great movie.
Yeah, it would be really cool.
And he's so charismatic and he's funny.
Yeah.
And
I love all the interview clips and stuff I see are like red carpet stuff where they're talking to Harrison Ford and then he like comes sneaking up behind and then they're like hugging and stuff like that. I'm like, oh my God, this is making me emotional.
I cry. When I first told Joanne, my wife, about he told a story about, I guess he had first seen, it was a red carpet event and he saw Harrison through a door and he didn't want to bother him.
Right.
Because they hadn't seen each other since the movie. And then he was nervous about approaching him. And then I guess Harrison Ford turned around and saw him and said, "Is that Short Round?"
Yeah.
And then, see, I'm going to cry right now. And then he actually said, "Yes, Indy, it's me."
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh,
yeah,
come
I know.
on.
It's amazing.
Come on.
Yeah. It's
their relationship is beautiful.
I know. I love seeing stuff like that.
Even having not seen each other for decades.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing.
He was super great in it.
Yeah.
It's still I still liked it. I mean, because I think when we all went to see the the new one, because I hadn't seen this one for a while, I was like, did I like this one better? And my memory of Temple of Doom was hazy, so I wanted to rewatch that one. And I almost feel like that one for me is maybe the most nostalgic because of probably how old I was when I saw it. And
I actually, even though I remember seeing Raiders, Temple of Doom is kind of that way with me too. And I think his look in it with the one sleeve
I was just going to say that,
and the bridge scene is something that was seared into my memory.
Totally. Yeah. Didn't like either you or me send each other? I can't remember if it was a toy.
It's coming out in the fall. I think it's Diamond Select or somebody.
Okay.
Somebody's doing a statue.
Oh, it's a statue
of Indy on the bridge, and it's like an exact likeness.
Yeah.
It's amazing
because that's the one I would almost want, because that image of it, even that poster, like, which I mean, obviously, oh my God, Drew Struzan, best poster artist ever, like one of my heroes.
Well, the original, there's so many versions of Indy posters, but the original one that's a close up and he's got the whip over his shoulder and the rope is coming down from the R in Raiders. That one was done by Ansel, I think is his name.
Okay.
And a lot of people always think it was a Struzan.
Right.
And it might have been Struzan who did Doom. But anyway, the Doom poster where he's just standing in the doorway.
Yeah.
With the
That's
machete.
one of my favorites.
Oh.
Did I ever tell you about how I said a boot? God damn it. I'm Canadian. Did I ever tell you a boot? Fucking tell you the story, bud. I was at a fan expo.
Now you're on Letterkenny. How are you now?
I was at a fan expo and Drew Struzan was a guest there, but it was weird. He wasn't with all the other, where he wasn't with all the other guests. He was in this different area. I don't know why. But I was like, I want to go up, and I don't get starstruck very much, but those who know me know I'm an artist, and he is, like a god to me,
Yeah, he's amazing.
And I was like, maybe I'll, I want to go over there. And I think I even bought, there was a DVD that he put out just on his website.
I remember that.
And it shows, he goes
and it was
step by
about
step.
His process and stuff.
Yeah, making the Hellboy poster.
Yeah.
And I bought it, and I was going to get him to sign it. And I was like, maybe I'll give him one of my art prints to be like, hey, look, I'm an artist and stuff.
Right.
But then I got to he doesn't want my shitty art. And I got to I didn't go and meet him, and I regret that now.
Yeah.
I was just like, what's he going to be like? Oh, this is great. This amazing artist. But
I hate regrets like that when you don't.
Yeah. Because I'm sure he would have been thankful. And
we went to Niagara, one of the Niagara conventions once. And I remember I was walking by we were only there to shop and stuff. And we were walking by the guest booths, and Wilford Brimley was there. And I saw him, and I'm like, it's Wilford Brimley. And then I didn't do anything. We went home. And then afterwards, I'm like, God damn it. Wilford Brimley was in The Natural. He was the coach in The Natural, and The Natural is one of my all-time favorite movies. And to me, a perfect example of how there really is magic in movies. That movie is something special for me. And the fact that I didn't go, and then he died 8 months later.
Did you kill him?
Yes.
Oh my God.
I love him so much. He's in my basement. No, but
I'm the one who gave him diabetes.
I regret it. I'm like, he was probably charging $20.
Oh yeah.
I should have gone and met him. So
yeah.
I hate that. But anyway, back to Indiana Jones.
Yeah. Who the role was originally offered to Wilford Brimley.
Oh my God. That would have been.
Can you imagine? Just a slow moving,
Yeah, and he uses his Cajun accent from Hard Target.
Oh my God. That's a whole other.
We should do a whole
10-part
episode on
series
Hard Target.
on Van Damme movies.
Okay, so anyway, fast forward to 1989. Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, which when that came out was a huge deal because I don't think people thought it was going to go beyond Temple of Doom for some reason.
Weird.
I guess because maybe it wasn't sequels weren't as prevalent.
I guess everything's made now to be a trilogy and stuff.
Yeah, so it was a big deal. And then it had that awesome tagline, Indiana Jones is back, and this time he's bringing his dad.
Oh,
which is a great tagline. Yeah. So what are your thoughts on Crusade?
I love Crusade.
Me too.
Love it.
Yeah, me too.
It's one of those ones where I'm like, is this my favorite one? I don't know. There's something about it.
I'm kind of the same way. When I watch it, I'm always like, it's not my favorite. And then I watch it, and as I'm watching it,
it has everything, damn. It's one of those ones, and I don't know why I do this. It's so stupid where it's I want to say.
You always do stupid things, Lee.
Well, I'm dumb. I have low intelligence. I always want to say maybe this is my favorite one, but it kind of like Return of the Jedi. Yeah. I'm this out of the original trilogy. I think this is my favorite one, but it's almost I feel like snooty movie snobs will pop out of some fucking mystery closet and be like, excuse me, Empire's better.
You can't like the one that goes yub nub.
Yeah.
That's not right.
Yeah. So I don't know what it is that I'm just say whatever is your favorite movie. If that one's your favorite, that's fine.
It's really funny.
We're all humans, man.
I've been going to this place. I haven't been there in a little while, actually, but shout out to Fly By Night in Oshawa.
I was just
which is a great store. And I used to go in there when they were in their old location, and we'd talk about movies and stuff. And he would always laugh because every time we'd talk about franchises, my favorite was always the one that was nobody's favorite.
Oh, funny.
So many things. We'd talk about the Alien series, and I'd be like, my personal favorite, and I'm not saying it's the best film, but my personal favorite was Alien 3. And he'd always be like, what? Nobody's favorite is Alien 3.
Yeah.
And I don't know. There's a lot of series are like that. A lot of the time, my favorite one is not the one that's everybody's favorite. So.
And it's funny because you can.
So embrace Jedi, Lee.
Yeah, and I love it. Oh my god, I almost cry every time. The
my favorite.
She will.
Yeah.
That and the music and anyway, we're
amazing. And my favorite lightsaber of all time is Luke's green one.
Me too.
Yeah,
me too.
And I so wish that deleted scene of him putting it together was in
so
the movie.
Cool.
Because seeing him build the lightsaber, come on. It's huge.
Let's reel this conversation
Indiana Jones.
and ramble back about Indiana Jones.
That's why we're called Ramblers, everybody, because we ramble.
My jokes.
Anyhow.
Yeah, but it is funny that you can like recognize like this movie over here might be the better one, but this one is my favorite one.
The sense of humor is great. The scene where they're tied up and the place is on fire and they keep going around in the fireplace, brilliant. All the action scenes on the boats. The boat scene was great. Lots of great like tomb raiding type stuff, like when they had to go to that library and
that
was awesome. All the stuff at the end with solving all the puzzles.
I love that stuff. Yeah,
it was great. And then of course, Sean Connery.
Oh, so good.
He was just like really. People always talk about nobody else could ever play that role, but I really can't envision anybody else.
No, they work together so well.
So
him and Harrison.
Yeah.
Oh,
and speaking of him as a dad,
he's not your dad.
He is.
Oh my God, that means he's my dad.
No,
I was adopted.
That's the secret that we didn't really want to reveal on the podcast.
Ugh, I have so many questions.
But no, the other great thing about Crusade is the opening scene with young Indy.
Oh my God, I forgot. Phoenix, holy shit!
Which is in itself a brilliant sequence.
Amazing.
The whole circus train.
He was so good as
oh my God.
Like holy shit.
I always wonder if he had lived, if they would have done just a young Indiana Jones movie.
Yeah. I mean, they made that TV show.
Which was great. Remember? And it had what's his name?
Patrick Flannery.
Sean Patrick Flannery from Boondock Saints.
Yeah.
And he was great. The show was really good.
I don't think I actually really watched it. I've seen like bits and pieces.
Disney Plus now. But it was lower budget.
Sure.
Like at times it almost feels like a Canadian TV show.
Yeah. Like when you'd
see Canadians out there, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Like it'd come on right after the Littlest Hobo at like 7:30
Maybe
p.m. on a Sunday.
Indy'll find a treasure. And the dog will show up.
Anyone in America is like, what the fuck is the Littlest Hobo? It's about a homeless man?
Look it up. YouTube. Go on YouTube. Littlest Hobo.
Yeah.
But yeah, that opening sequence with him was amazing. And it was great. And then his dad's, I love the thing at the end with, I can't remember her name, the blonde traitor who he thought was on his side.
Wilford Brimley?
I want to say... Elsa. I think it was Elsa.
Yeah, Elsa, maybe. Yeah.
And then her at the end, she's like reaching for the grail and she's like, I can get it. Even though they just told her you can't leave with it.
Yeah.
And she's like, I can get it. And she dies. And then Indy's like, I can get it.
Yeah.
And then
it's like the One Ring.
Yeah. And then his dad, who that was his life's obsession, says, no, Indy, like, leave it alone.
Let it go, Sean.
It was brilliant.
Yeah.
It was brilliant.
It was good. Honestly, it's like, it's great that they made more movies and stuff, but it's like even the way that it ended, it could have been just like
that could have been
trilogy, you know what I mean? And it would have been fine.
So, okay, we've dragged on too long of these. So let's move on to your personal favorite.
I didn't put a timer on the episode.
I have it because I have the phone.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Oh, boy.
So Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
Mm-hmm.
This is way more divisive than the new Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
And I will concede that a lot of the stuff that you thought was ridiculous, I thought could have been scaled back.
Yeah.
Mostly for me, the monkey scene.
Yeah.
The monkey scene was a little over the top. I didn't have a problem with the other thing. You always had a problem with the boat thing going over the waterfalls or something. We discussed it years ago.
Honestly, I think the thing...
Was it just the monkey thing?
It was just like kind of like the CGI stuff in it. Oh, okay. The movie felt...
Just so you all know out there, Lee is an adamant hater, like protest with signs of CG. I guess of obvious CG.
Obvious CG, yeah. It to me, it's like... And like I didn't... The last time I watched this movie, I was like, it's not as bad as I thought I remembered it being. It was still like fine, you know?
It's probably my least favorite, but I still think there's some really great moments.
Yeah. I was just like, you know, certain things like that it just seemed too convenient. Like, you know, the opening scene, like they're in the warehouse and they're like, we can find the crystal skull because it's magnetic and we can throw just a handful of gunpowder and find it.
Yeah.
And it's like, ooh, like it's magnetic. But, you know, and then later on, they're like chucking it in between like these two metal cars and it's not sticking to the cars. Like it's only magnetic when it serves the story. I don't know. I know, but it's still like it just
in Last Crusade they met an immortal knight.
But it worked for me for whatever reason. I don't know. But the CGI stuff, that's what pulled me out of it because
magnetic thing aside, by the way, I loved the warehouse scene.
Oh, that was great.
I thought it was super cool. Like original Raiders with the Nazis and him swinging using the whip going like on top of the crates and getting a glimpse of the Ark.
Oh, that was great too. Yeah.
Like I thought that scene was amazing.
But yeah, like the when the
and having Marion back was amazing.
That was I was super happy she was back in it. Shue LaBeouf playing his son.
There's a lot of Shia haters.
Well,
I like Shia. I think he's a really good actor. He's a weirdo.
Yeah, he's literally like kidnapped and tortured a woman. But anyway, so if we'll just separate the actor from the movie. I'm not
talking about what he did in life. I'm talking about his performances.
Yeah, I know. But like as an actor, and before I found out he was a torturer, I was like fine with him as an actor and stuff, right? And it's not even like I disliked his character because it was fine, whatever. But yeah, I think it was mostly just like it looked like that jungle scene. It looked so artificial. It's kind of like
I guess, and the ants.
Yeah, it seemed like on the gophers. It just seemed weird and out of place for
I understand that.
For the series. You know what I mean? That. It's like you watch the original Lord of the Rings trilogy, and it's like real. It looks amazing and stuff, and then you compare it to like the Hobbit movies, which just it looks like it has like a soft filter over it or something, and everything looks like weightless.
We'll discuss that in a future episode, but. Yeah,
you know what I mean?
The Hobbits have grown on me. More so, I think, the first Hobbit movie.
Okay.
Not so much the second and third, but the first one, for sure, I know what you're talking about.
Right. Yeah. So it's just, like that really pulled me out of it. But I mean, like, I love, oh, God, actress. Why am I blanking? Kate something? In Crystal Skull, Galadriel.
Oh, Kate Blanchett.
Kate Blanchett. So I can't remember her name.
She was great, and she really like chewed the scenery and
hammed it up and stuff, and that was fine. And so it's like I don't hate the movie like some people hate it. Yeah, I didn't like the CGI stuff really.
And
pulled
there has
me out
been
of it.
like entries in franchises that are like worthy of hating.
Sure,
Matrix.
They only made 3 of those movies. I don't know what you're talking about. We can hear our producer
we can
Jay
hear
in the
Jay.
background.
Don't worry, Jay. We'll do a Matrix episode and you're going to be in on that one.
Oh, sweet Jesus. Anyway,
we're running out of time, so let's leave the one that we're all
iffy about and talk about the new one.
And we'll go to Dial of Destiny.
Yeah, which I thought was great.
I went in very excited. Of course, internet was like, oh, this is going to suck. Crystal Skull sucked, so this is going to suck. But I was very optimistic. Great trailers. Mads Mikkelsen is the villain. So many things had me on board. And then I was actually super pleased and kind of it went beyond my expectations. I really loved it.
Yeah, I thought it was just super fun and had everything like an Indiana Jones movie should have.
Yeah.
Just, kind of like the Tomb Raider-y aspects and, it had some humor to it and it had a good arc for Indy, like I know a lot of people.
I thought Phoebe was
super great. I really liked her character. And that's funny. A lot of people are like, I don't even like saying this word, but like, oh, this movie's woke. Like, why? Because there's like a strong lady in it. You
Everything's
dumb
woke.
Son of a bitch.
Everything's woke.
Yeah, of course.
And again, opening scene, the retro scene where they CG'd young Indy onto
it's
Indy.
like that
train scene was phenomenal.
Yeah. And the de-aging, it's like it's every time they do it, it's like getting closer and closer to being perfect. Like it's not perfect yet.
No.
But it's as good as it has been.
Yeah, it was super.
So it was really
I have a feeling once I own that, I'm going to be like just rewatching that opening scene a lot.
Yeah, totally.
Just because it was so great.
Yeah, I had no, there was a part of me that was like, if this is the last one, I'm going to spoiler alert. If you haven't seen it, pause this podcast, go watch the movie. But when they time travel, which is cool. I love time travel stuff. Yep. And, it's like they just arrived and it's like, oh, we're in the past. Okay, cool. Now we got to go back. And it's like, I feel like they could have made that bigger or more impactful. Maybe it would have been more impactful if Indy did stay and he had to become the person that made that device or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I've thought of that, but I personally, I've read a lot of people think that he should have stayed. I don't think so, because being the series the way it is, I think that wouldn't have made logical sense.
I agree.
But I love that he got to witness history. Like that for me was a huge Indy moment, and it was for him, which I gotta also, by the way, say that I think that it might have been his best performance as Indy, just in acting terms.
Yeah, it was.
I thought he played it really, really well.
Yeah, and I like that. We talked about this then. That because he is. I mean, what is he like? Close to 80? Or okay, so 70s.
I think maybe he's older. I'm not sure.
I think he's 200. He's 203. But I like that it's because I mean that was just real quick to jump back into, because like how old was he when he was in Crystal Skull? Like 60s maybe?
I don't know. I can't figure that out.
I'm not an ageologist. Math it. But yeah, that like it's when he's like swinging around, swinging. It's like he's pretty old at that point. So it's like I didn't know if I quite bought that. I mean, maybe you can. I don't know. It's like I pull my back out when I tie my shoe.
You're talking in Dial of Destiny. You didn't buy it?
No, I did in Dial of Destiny.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. In the previous one, I was iffy. But it's like I like in this that it's like. Of course,
he had trouble climbing a wall. When he pushed the shelves over, it was like a struggle for him.
And
I
like that. They didn't make him like a superhero. It's like it's realistic that his age affects what he can do. Yeah. And I like that. I appreciated that in it.
Me too.
Yeah.
But I'm going to go on about that until the day I die, because I think it was just a missed opportunity.
How would you rank them if you had to, like, from favorite to least?
Oh my God.
It's really hard.
Good call. The margins are tight, but I want to say 1, 2, 4, 3.
There's 5.
What? Oh, I left out. 1. Oh yeah, right. 1. Ah, damn.
I know it's hard. Well, you know what? Like, okay, like on
probably
because it'll change, I bet. Yeah. For you from day to day, but today, if you had to pick it,
probably 1, 2, 5, 3, 4.
Really?
I think so.
Yeah, I think
I don't know. See, it's Dial of Destiny and Last Crusade are super close for me.
Really? Yeah.
So I think that they're the interchangeable ones.
I think maybe for me it's 1.
Don't put Return of the Jedi in it.
Shit. Yeah. 1, 3. Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey. I think it's fuck. Whatever. 1, 3, 2, 5, 4, maybe.
2, 5. So it was the same as mine, but with those two.
Yeah, I think it could change day to day.
Temple of Doom in the
Yeah. I had part 3 higher.
Right.
I think that's mine. I think it's whatever the numbers I just said. I've forgotten already.
Yeah, ranking is so difficult because I think also that Temple of Doom is edging out Last Crusade for the nostalgia factor.
Yeah.
Nostalgia is a tough thing. We should do a whole episode about nostalgia.
Oh man,
and whether it's good or bad.
I feel like we talked about that a little bit before.
We did.
Oh my God. You know what's also funny? I don't know, what's our time? We got 2 minutes. Okay, good. I can say this. I don't know about you. I guarantee you've done the same thing where, because we've recorded a bunch of these podcasts in advance, I'll still sometimes think of previous podcasts and be like, shit, I forgot about this. I wanted to mention this. Yeah. Like, one, maybe it was in our first podcast. I don't remember.
But we can ramble. We can address other episodes.
Well, there was one I think
that he may be addressing an episode that you actually haven't listened to yet, and maybe hasn't even been posted yet.
That is absolutely true. Yeah, where we're talking about like favorite actors and actresses and stuff, and like maybe I did mention it later, but I was like, how did I not immediately say Florence Pugh for starters? Because she's the best.
Yeah,
the best. And now I'm going to forget this dude's name because he's not like a leading actor, but this dude is like the best actor working right now. And we are going to do a character actor. Oh, okay. He is a character actor because he's in like every Mike Flanagan thing. He was in Halloween Kills. He's the best. In Hill House, he was one of like the caretakers. Oh my God. He's
okay. You're going to have to like look it up and write it down for when we do the character episode.
Okay.
I'm not sure who you're talking about.
You'll know him immediately.
Obviously just rambling on some dementia ridden tirade.
I don't have Alzheimer's. I have like sometimes. Like sometimes my memory's good and sometimes it's bad. It's not all the time. as soon as I show you, you'd be like, oh my God, of course that guy. And he is the best. He's such a good actor because we watched Hill House.
I agree.
Sort of recently.
Whoever he is, he's awesome.
Well, if he's in a Flanagan thing, he is amazing.
Sure.
All right. This is wrap.
Yeah, that's what I'll just say. Now that I'm sure that the Young Indiana Jones Chronicles is on Disney Plus now, or I heard that it is coming to Disney Plus. Either way, for fans out there that haven't checked out that when it was on TV, go back and if you're feeling a bit of that, oh, it's too bad Indy's done with now. Go back and watch it. It's really fun and it's cool to see where Indy was before the adventures we know him for.
And Harrison was on one of the episodes.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, he was for sure.
But yeah, and it had George Lucas had a lot to do with the series, and I think he executive produced it all or something, and Spielberg maybe too. But yeah, go back and check it out. I'm definitely going to go back and revisit it.
Yeah, I probably will too.
But yeah, I mean, one of the most solid franchises of all time. Harrison Ford can't go wrong, right?
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, I guess that's it for today. So back into the tombs we go, and thanks for tuning in, everybody. I guess that's it, folks.
I'll ramble on, and here's my friend Dr. Stephen Brule to sign us out. I can't do it. I'm going to laugh.
Come on, do it.
This is Dr. Stephen Brule from Check It Out, and you are listening to Progcast, name of Real Gramblers, with your host.
You almost made it.
With your host, Brill Hangward and Bleroy Dangle. Check it out on VCR.
I'm calling you Bleroy Drangle from now on.
I've been trying to rehearse that for like a month.
Oh my God.
I cried at the house.
Oh, dude. All right.
Check it out, Real Gramblers. Real Progcast.
See you next time, folks. Thanks for tuning in.
Thanks for listening to The Real Ramblers. Follow us on Instagram at Real Ramblers. That's REEL Ramblers. And you can follow Lee at Lee Howard _art and Bill at JustTheBill1138.